channel. I am so glad you could join me. Remember, like and subscribe to this channel. As a new and upcoming YouTube booktuber, I am learning so many things. I have recently learned that June is June on the Range, dubbed that by Michael K. Vaughan. I will post his link in the description below. June on the Range is the month where you can read all the Western novels and books that your little heart desires, all the books about country Western until your little heart is content. Well, now discovering this, I thought, what do I want book 4 to be? I chose It's a Long Story, a definitive autobiography by none other than Mr. Willie Nelson. Why did I choose this? Okay, I have that answer. Am I a Willie Nelson fan? No. Did I know very much about Willie Nelson? No. Do I think that Willie Nelson embodies and is the epitome of cowboys? Yes. Do I think that no one is more cowboy-er than him? Yes. He is the embodiment of cowboy in my head. So I chose to share what I have learned about good old Willie with you. Now, in reading this book, I have learned so many things other than who Willie is. I have learned a lot of lessons. I have gathered a lot of information and a lot of knowledge through the life story of this man. The book starts off as Willie as a youth whose mother was kind of a floozy. She was very promiscuous, and the father was very much in and out of his life. Willie and his sister, who was older than him, were raised by a strict grandmother and grandfather. Now, Willie was your typical boy. He found himself in and out of trouble plenty of times. It then takes us on through his journey as a teenager and young man in his early 20s, where he struggled to find a job, to raise a family. By this time, he had many children and many failed marriages. He takes on the position of a vacuum cleaner salesman, and when that doesn't pan out, he switches careers to encyclopedia, door-to-door salesman, then gets the vibes that he is being dishonest and untruthful, and he's not comfortable with that feeling, so he ditches that and goes back to vacuum cleaner salesman, and all the while trying to pen a career in music. Well, try as he may, it never seems to pan out for him, but he never gives up. He finds himself like a ping pong ball, going from state to state, with the advice of those who have already made it in the business. So Patsy Cline might have said, if you want to make it in this business, you have to come from Texas to Nashville. And when he gets to Nashville, then he's told, you have to, if you want to make it in this business, you have to go to Texas. So he's kind of like doing one of these things, making himself a little dizzy, never giving up, but never really getting anywhere. One day he finds himself sitting at a local tavern, and he's just about had all that he could have, all that he could take. So he is propelled to bring himself outside into the evening world where the snow is falling, and he just casually walks to the middle of the road and lays down, not wanting to die, but not wanting to live. Just closing his eyes and feeling the falling snow. Luckily, it wasn't a heavily traveled road, and we can all safely know that it didn't end tragically there. All right, so now, through a friend of a friend, he is introduced to a producer. And he is so broke, he is like, yo, I just need some cash in my left front pocket. I'm willing to sell you my body of work for like $35. Something like that, $50, something like that. Well, this producer, upon perusing this information, says, I think we got something here. So he says, let me see what you can do. I'm going to put you in this room, not much other than an air conditioner and a table with some chairs. You, whatever's up there, put on to this paper. I'm going to go bye-bye. I'll see you in about 20 minutes or so. Well, Willie was like, I don't know what I have up here. I don't know what to say. And then he got to thinking, well, of love's lost and heartache and not having anyone to share his woes with. He thought, I will become friends with this very barren room. So, upon looking around and discovering, well, I only got 4 walls, a window, a ceiling, he began, hello, walls. And then he started to spill out his heartache to the walls, to the window, to the ceiling. Well, when the producer came back in, he knew he had something. He knew it. And he also knew if I was to buy his body of work for such a low price, I would be doing him dirty. So instead, because I'm a good guy, let me just offer him a job in a band. And so that was kind of what happened. And then Willie was introduced to Waylon, and then just when he started to make something of himself, he gets a phone call that his house is on fire and you better get here quick. Well, when he arrived on the premises, it was pretty much a done deal. So his wheels are turning. I have some good Colombian weed in that house, and if I do not go get it, the firemen might discover it, and I will be buying myself a first-class ticket to jail. And I do not want to risk that, so I have a choice. Stand here and take the chance, or go in the flames and get what is mine. I won't say what happened there, but we all know how much Willie loves his weed, right? Little bit. However, it is noted in the book that Willie was against any other kind of drug whatsoever. He liked his alcohol, he liked his weed. But if you were a member of his entourage and he caught you doing pills or hard drugs, heroin, cocaine, crack, whatever, his motto was, if you are wired, you are fired. So somewhere in Willie's mind, he is justifying why marijuana is not classified as a drug. And I do not have an opinion on that one way or another. I was just enjoying the ride that the book took me on. Anyways, here's what I have learned from Willie and why I chose to read Willie. Because I always want to know the journey of your life, and I always want to pull up a park bench with a coffee and listen to the story of your life. And since I knew very little about Willie, I thought, I will take this opportunity. Let me see what Willie can teach me, because as I get older, I am more, I've always been open-minded, but I am even more so open-minded. And probably when I was a teenager, when it came to music or art or books or whatever, I was very tunnel vision. Now, as an older person, I am exploring poetry, abstract art. I guess the easiest way to say it, I am taking time to stop and smell the roses. So with that said, I feel that as a woman of age, 51 years old, this is what I know. When you tell a youngin, 17, 18, 24-year-old, a tad bit of wisdom, because wisdom is not just bestowed upon you, it is earned. It takes ages and years to acquire that wisdom, I do not believe that it is fair to take that wisdom with you to the grave. I believe it is our obligation as older people to share that wisdom with the upcoming youth. Now, you might say to yourself, they don't want to hear what we have to say, but yes, they do. This is one thing that I have noticed time and time again. They can roll their eyes, they can shrug their shoulder, but bottom line, they are listening. They are listening to what you have to say. Me fulfilling my obligation of not forcing any kind of opinion or unwanted knowledge on you. I'm not trying to brainwash you. I'm not trying to force feed you. I am sharing my experiences with you, and you can take from it what you will. Just as when they reach my age, it will be their responsibility to pass on to the younger generation their wisdom. I think it's a lovely and beautiful concept. So I feel like I chose Willie because he has wisdom, he is sharing, and I am willing to hear what you have to say. I was very, very much so enjoying this book. I did the Audible version because it is narrated by Willie himself, and I wanted the full body experience of this book. Was not a Willie Nelson fan, but am now. Oh, I am definitely now have respect, and I am a fan of the way that he makes no apologies for the way that he lived his life. How he didn't set out to hurt anybody, never, he's just not that type of person. How he has overcome tragedy and overabundance of debt from an accountant's misdoing. And how do you fight the IRS? But Willie fought it and Willie won. That just tells me if you could do that, there's hope for just about anything. Never give up, keep fighting, keep rolling with those punches. Here Willie is 89 years young, and he's lived this far to tell his tale, still going strong, still sharing his wisdom, his knowledge, his music, his growth as a person, just goals. How does a sneaker, faded jean, t-shirt, bandana, braid-wearing man feel comfortable sitting down at a table with a doctor, a lawyer, a psychologist? And the lovely thing is there's no judgments being cast or bestowed. I just love that whole concept, that whole theory, that because I choose this ensemble and you are personifying that ensemble, does not matter to me, does not matter to you. We are brothers. We can laugh and sing and share and converse as one with no judgments whatsoever. I just love that whole concept. So, was I a Willy fan? No. Am I a Willy fan? Heck yes. I say, giddy up, Willie, because I'm on board. I ain't hard to convince. When you see a good thing, go with it. So I would just like to say thank you, Willie, for writing that book. I've learned so many lessons through your life, and I've had such a good time learning about you. I would like to most definitely share your story with the world. If you don't know whose autobiography you would like to immerse yourself in, I strongly suggest in the month of June picking up Willie Nelson. It's a long story. It's a wonderful story. Stay tuned tomorrow for day 5 of 25 books in the month of June. Until then, be well, be good, be reading.